ZohoClick's platform tutorial on building extensions and configuring extension handlers. Extension handlers are Deluge scripts that take care of your extension installation, activation, and working. Use these handlers to define a clear-cut process to manage your extension installation workflow. Now there are 4 extension handlers which take care of the entire installation and activation process. They are your installation validator, installation handler, incoming webhook handler, and the uninstallation handler. Alright, so before we get into understanding the purpose behind each handler and how it works, let us take a look at the simple illustration explaining the extension installation process. First off, when a user clicks on the install option for an extension from the marketplace, the extension is installed for the particular team or organization, followed by its activation. Now this illustration demonstrates the handlers that control the extension installation stages. So the installation validator is triggered before the installation of the extension, followed by the installation handler that is triggered to activate the extension and its components. The installation validator acts as a checkpoint for users installing an extension from the marketplace. This handler is triggered when a user clicks the install button of the extension. Validation is based on a criteria which the extension developer sets, and the extension will be successfully installed only when this handler returns a success response. And then comes the installation handler. This handler is triggered to activate the installed extension and its components. Use the auth token parameter to make authenticated requests during the extension activation. We have a simple flowchart here to demonstrate how the installation validator and the handler are triggered. When a user first clicks on the install extension button, the validator is triggered to return a response. This response can either be a success or a failure based on the validation check. And if this validator response is a success, then the extension moves on to the activation part where the installation handler is triggered. If the installation validator returns a failure, then the user would have to try installing the extension again after fulfilling the necessary criteria. Again, the installation handler workflow here is also pretty simple. When receiving a success response from the installation validator, the extension is activated automatically and all the components are available for use. In case of a failure, then the extension would still be installed in the account but not activated for use. The user can contact the developer or the support team to get more information or finish any requirements to be done before trying to activate the extension. The next handler we are going to be looking at is the incoming webhook handler for an extension. The extension's incoming handler can be configured to post notifications about any actions performed in the respective third-party service. Response from the webhooks configured with the help of the installation handler can be handled in the webhook handler's script. This flowchart demonstrates how the installation handler can be triggered to register webhooks in other applications. The handler is triggered to send a request to register the webhook in an application. The webhook URL or the target URL is validated, based on which the handler returns a response. If this response is a success, then the webhooks are registered in the third-party application successfully. The webhooks registered during installation will receive an incoming request when any action has been performed in the external application. The incoming handler then processes this to post the response as a message in a channel or a bot. One more important point to note about the extensions are the tokens we deal with as developers. The app key is the extension's unique key. Use this key to access the extension from a third-party service. You can create a new key in case of misuse of your existing key. Click on the generate option you find in the extension's preview page. The auth token is a security token to authorize the system on behalf of a particular user. The installation handler provides you with the token for the user who installs the app. This is needed to access the extension on behalf of the user while creating webhooks. It is mandatory to use these two tokens in any extension API endpoint. And finally, we have the uninstallation handler here, which is triggered once the extension is uninstalled. This handler can be used to deregister or delete the webhooks created during the extension installation. So in this video, we will create a sample extension with Eventbrite, a event planning and management application. This extension will have a slash command to get the list of current or upcoming events and a bot to notify of any event updates. Once your integration components are ready, go on to bundle them as an extension. To create the extension, click on the Integrations tab in Qlik's home page and select the Extensions option. Click the Create Extension button in the Extension section. Give your extension name, description, image, and select the components you would like to add from the components listing. But note that you can add only a maximum of 4 components from each section. OK, once done, just click Create. This will create your extension and list it under the My Extensions section. Alright, so we can start off by configuring the extension handlers now. This is the extension preview page where we can get details about the extensions, app key, and also view the handler listing. Click on Edit Code option under the installation validator to get started. Now we've already configured this handler to give a success response and directing the user to move on with extension activation. Click on Save Code and move on to the next handler, which is our installation handler. This handler will be executed to create a webhook as soon as the user installs the extension. The extension's installation URL along with the auth token and the app key should be used as the target URL. We've used the invoke URL function to connect with Eventbrite and create a webhook. Save your code once you're happy with it and move on to the next handler. We'll see how the webhook handler is configured to handle the responses received from the webhooks created during installation. The webhook handler's code has been configured to structure the response received from the webhook and post it as a card to the bot we have in the extension. And finally, we have the uninstallation handler. This handler is configured to deregister the webhooks we created during installation. That is to say, this handler basically performs a cleanup action once an extension is uninstalled. Now that we have configured all these handlers, let's just quickly come back to the extensions view and click on Publish and publish our extension. Clicking on Publish will take us to the extension Publish page. Let's give our extension pricing details and the developer information and just click on Publish. The extension has been published successfully and you'll receive the extension installation URL. Alright, so when a user tries to install this extension, they see a prompt requesting permission to access their Eventbrite account. Click on Allow Access and log in with the respective credentials. Once you've logged in, you'll be redirected back to Qlik to see a success message. The extension will now be installed and activated with all the components successfully. Now let's try a quick test to see if the webhook has been created. So I have a sample event created in my Eventbrite account. Updating the attendee details should trigger a notification in Qlik. So for example, just register yourself as an attendee. Go ahead and click on Register. Now let's go back to Qlik to check if we have received a notification. Alright, so the event bot notifies us about an order that has been placed. We have a card displaying the current registration details for the event. And this is how extension handlers basically work. We hope this video gave you an idea about how to configure your extension handler. Thank you for watching.